guys, Yami Sorceress here, and to start with, yes, Jounouchi, or Joey, however you want the English or the Japanese version, he won the vote, and I am very surprised. Nothing against Jounouchi, I love him, I love his funny character altogether, but I seriously thought very few people were going to vote for him, and he would probably be the last to unbox. Congrats, Joey! Oh my, I'm very surprised that he has such a loyal fan base. Good job, everyone out there. And once again, the vote is continuing for what's going to be occurring next. So, once again, you have until next Monday, whenever that is at the bottom there. So we are down to 3 choices now. We have regular Malik, we also have Yami Marik, and then we have Seto Kaiba. The choice is up to you. Which one of these should I unbox next week? Unless Pharaoh Atum comes in, and then everything gets pushed out, and then he would be the next one. Point is, vote for whichever one that you want. So I explained this last time when we were unboxing Yami Bakura, but the sizes of their boxes are very drastically different for each character in the Kotobukiya line. So for example, here was Bakura's box. Immediately, much taller and much wider. So this drastic size difference is mostly because of what the sculpture intended for each of the characters. So for Bakura, if you remember, yes, a lot of action going on with his arm completely straight up, so obviously he needs the bigger box. Jounouchi, on the other hand, he pretty much has the smallest box out of this lineup for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Characters. Nothing wrong with that. It's sweet and simple, but his pose is not very dramatic. But I'm very excited to own him because I do like his colors. Because Bakura, he had more of a matte finish. We're going to go back to what Yami Yugi has now, more of a glossy finish. And I do tend to go for the glossy a little bit more. So let's take a look at the box, unopen it, and take a look at all the glossiness. I feel like I need a Brooklyn accent in order to fully unbox this. And I do not have a Brooklyn accent. Brooklyn rage! Yeah. God, that was terrible. Yeah. Yeah, we'll go with that. Everyone ignore what you just heard. Yeah, we'll go with yeah. So, box view on the front. We are going green now. In the bottom, you should be looking for Art FXJ, the symbol right there, as well as your Kotobukiya symbol. Similar to Bakura in the last video, and even Yami Yugi, is that every single side should hold a Kotobukiya sign towards the bottom. And this is to determine that, yes, it is authentic. You are not being ripped off, because we don't want that. So you can definitely see from the center, there he is, all of his glory in his nice pose. It does come with the dual disc that you can change out with his regular arm. This is the same for every other character within this line. Side view of the box. So there he is, the full-scale figure and what he looks like once the box is opened. I do love how each of the boxes, they do have the character portrayed on the side here. So if you do want to keep the boxes and display them, it's a really nice display just for the box itself. And another side view. Now, at first you may be thinking, okay, it's just a regular stupid circle, but this is where Jounouchi differs from Bakura and Yami Yugi, is that for both the transparent parts on Yami and Yami Bakura, is that they had the Millennium Puzzle being the transparent part. However, Jounouchi and his precious card, the Red Eyes Black Dragon, that is pretty much his symbol. So if you can kind of see, here's the Red Eyes Black Dragon kind of unleashing an attack. So it's cut out, the transparent part to be the attack. Flip it to the very back, the remainder of the Red Eyes Black Dragon, and the wing is transparent so that you could see into the back and see Jounouchi in there. And I'm very glad that they didn't just reuse another one of the Millennium Puzzles for him, because that's not Jounouchi at all. Really, Jounouchi is the Red Eyes Black Dragon when you think about it. It's his most precious card. So I'm very happy that Kotobukiya did design the box with that in mind. Top part, you can see another transparent area that goes straight down and you can see into his hair, which I must say, I do love the color of his hair already. And once again, I never really noticed again how insane looking his hair is. We should all accept the fact that no matter what the character is in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that their hair is just going to be insane. It's one of those requirements. You can't be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Character unless you have insane hair. And finally, the bottom part, which is always our favorite. Apparently, they recommend that you must be at least 14 years of age to own these. Whatever. Main point is you are not to eat these because they do contain sharp parts, and that's not the least of your worries. The point is that you will somehow suffocate and it is terrible. So do not eat this. It's sort of like eating scissors in their mind. Alright, let's get to this. It's such a small box. It's so cute in a way. You can hug it unlike the other boxes. Anyway, back to the main point here. Cutting off the protective one-piece tape. At least it's good that there's only one piece of tape, unlike some other figures. Okay, guys, this may seem strange to you, but I'm in love with the inside of the box. Screw the figure. The inside of the box, it's a shiny, red, metallic, sparkly, whatever it is. Why does that bring joy to my heart? It's because it's red and it's sparkly. And for some reason, I just like that. And you know what? I'm just going to relate it back to the whole Red Eyes Black Dragon thing. So, the red eyes is in the center. I will never sell this box. Okay, back on track. First and foremost, the reason why you always get figures is because directions. But seriously, the directions are just there to tell you how to take off the arm to replace the dual disc arm on top of it. I mean, simple. We're all from the generation that we just know how to assemble stuff. Come on, guys. And all together, we bid hello to what once was the bad boy and now Yugi's best friend, Jounouchi Katsuya, or Joey, however you want to say it. He's glossy, I love it. Let's take a moment and just look at him up close for a second. You can immediately just tell from the camera with all of these shiny things is that yes, the majority of his outfit is a gloss finish. And I like this about this particular figure as well as Yami Yugi. Now Yami and Joey do have the same glossy effect, and it's only apparent on their pants and their jackets, whereas their shirts on the inside are a matte finish. Now, Jounouchi may not have the epic dynamics of the gravity-defying coat that Yami has. However, you could still see that it is going out slightly on his back end. So still not an amazing dramatic effect, but really what makes Jounouchi such a great figure, he may not have an epic pose, but it's the paint job. It's this glossy finish. And I even have to go as far as to say that the paint job on Jounouchi is even better than that on Yami Yugi. This is a little bit to do with the different colors for each of the jeans or the pants, whatever type of pants that they are wearing. But Jounouchi is wearing a lighter shade compared to Yami. Yami is pretty much almost black. I mean, sure, it's obvious blue, but he's more portrayed to be wearing darker blacks. Jounouchi, on the other hand, slightly lighter, so now we're looking more into a light blue. So you'll see throughout his figures is that there's more light upon his clothing. So a little bit more white going through it to capture most of the light that is hitting in certain areas. Now this is just a nitpicky remark on my side, is that I always thought that even when Yugi transformed into his darker self of Yami Yugi, is that Yami was still slightly shorter than Jounouchi. So these are 1/7 scale figures, but even still, I don't think that Yami's pointy hair would even be as tall as Jounouchi. I would have to go back and look at references, but this isn't a big deal. I'm just critiquing this, but in reality, I truly believe that Yami is just very slightly shorter than Jounouchi. But let's bring Bakura into this for a second. I mean, sure, we can say that he's taller just because of his arm, but I'm mostly zoomed up on their heads. The reason that Bakura just seems a little bit slightly lower than the rest of them is that he's bent over in his pose, but if he were to straighten up, he would for sure be the tallest of these three at the moment. And we could even say that if Jounouchi did straighten up a little bit, he is kind of leaning back, he would be slightly taller than Yami, but once again, not a huge difference, not a huge drastic difference. Really the only one standing up straight is Yami at the moment, but he is slightly hunched backward as well. But enough about size and height. Let's move on to looking closer at Jounouchi. So let's start with those devilish features right there. I just really love the eyes. So far, they are probably my favorite eyes from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Kotobukiya line, and they just seem so well shapen and so filled with determination. He does have a very slight brown color eye, which now I have to go back and reference this. I always thought that he had more green eyes. You know what, I just looked at the cover of a manga. No, he does have hazelish eyes. My mistake. But they're gorgeous either way. It does match his hair color. Now, his hair is a matte finish, but it's a beautiful paint job altogether. It's really golden. It's not like you're seeing yellow like what you would see on most Sailor Moon figures, for example. Is that Kotobukiya took the time to really shade in and add some darker yellows to his hair altogether. And it especially shows up in the back where it's going through the locks of the hair, and it really just makes the figure. And he may be simple looking in design, but he's so well done that really you can't say that he's simple. It's a great paint job altogether, and just his facial looks is really what makes this figure, I believe. And plus, you always have to smile that he is giving you a thumbs up, so it's going to be a good day once you pass him in your house. Now, it's not a huge problem, but his matte white shirt. So Yami Yugi has black, and I took another look at him. It doesn't have too many shadows as well, and Jounouchi is following the same way. Not a lot of shadow details in the shirt, but you can, if you do look closely into the folds, it is a slight grayish blue, but you really cannot tell. Mostly it is just complete white matte finish. It's not too bad because the gloss, it does take away a lot from the shirt, so it's not too much of a big problem. I do kind of wish, though, that there was just a little bit more of a shadowy detail on the white matte finish of the shirt. But let's just take a look at the pants. I'm in love with the pants, the shade that they used for him, because once again, it is lighter than Yami's, but just the glossy finish and the little bits of white that you see on the pants, it really just makes the figure and it captures the light so well. So I'm really glad that they didn't choose the same color that they used for Yami. Instead, they went with a lighter color. And in one way, we could sort of say that Jounouchi is not the darker self that Yami is. He's a happy-go-lucky guy, and he transformed himself into Yugi's best friend and just a good guy in general, and he stopped being a bully and became one of the best characters in the series, both for comedy relief and just for friendship all over. So he's really a light type of soul. He's not the dark soul that Yami has within him. So they do portray him more in this light manner. So we do have the white shirt, we have lighter clothing, and I really just like that about this series and the way that they are going with these figures. Now you guys may think I'm crazy. The best part of this figure are the shoes. If you guys watched my Yami Bakura review, is that I had a lot to say about how disappointed I was about the shoes and how they were plain. Jounouchi's shoes, they make the figure. And this is because they're so colorful and they're mostly well done. And they've really took their time sculpting these shoes. With the laces, you could see each individual lace crisscrossing each other, as well as just the side view of the colors that they use. They have these darker purples and a darker light blue within here, and even some yellow detailing along the bottom. And many of you who are Yu-Gi-Oh fans may know this, but in the manga and even in Season 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh, if you guys have seen it, is that shoes are a big importance for Jounouchi. They had a whole episode dedicated to Jounouchi trying to get these shoes that he's always wanted. But he is a shoe guy, so really they are portraying him even more just in the shoes by himself, because Jounouchi is looking for pretty fancy, awesome shoes for himself. Come on, I know you guys want some shoes like this. Aren't they so stylish? And I do have to mention one more thing about his pose, is that, sure, it does seem like he's giving you a thumbs up, but it can also be interpreted as there is a bang that comes very close to the thumb on his hand, and he's sort of like wishing it back. So in one way, that's his action pose as well. So it can be interpreted any way, but the more that I look at Jounouchi, the more that I do like his simple pose, that we really don't need something as dramatic like what we saw with Bakura. So just like all the other Yu-Gi-Oh characters from this lineup, is that Joey, he does come with his own set of cards. Here's the problem though, is that he comes with just the stack of cards. So there's the stack of 5 cards, but he doesn't get that single card that the rest of the characters so far have. And you know what? It doesn't disappoint me, because those single cards do fall out of the character's hands a lot. So in one way, I'm much more satisfied with just 5 cards in a stack, because usually it is pretty thick compared to the single card. These will usually stay in the character's hands. And finally, his dual disc arm. So I am happy they kept with the glossiness on his coat and his arm, and it's very well done. Perfect folds throughout, and once again, the dual disc, just the job that Kotobukiya does on the dual disc is phenomenal. I love the paint job. I just love the blue that they use for each of the places that you put your dual monster cards, and they just go with the details so well. Is that you see the 4,000 life points right there, and you can easily read it, and he even has his dual deck that's all stacked within the placeholder. It's just a really nice sculpted and painted dual disc throughout, and even on the back where you see the grooves and the details from the bottom. So before I put the dual disc on, is that he does have something special, is that the hand on the dual disc can come out, as well as his thumb hand on his figure, and you can change the hand, so he can be holding his dual disc while giving the thumbs up if you so want him in that pose. Here's the problem though, is that the hand with the thumbs up, it does stick very well. The hand that came with the dual disc, it's very loose. It almost doesn't stick in the arm provided. So let me just check with this arm. This one, it sticks much better, so that's not going anywhere. However, with the dual disc arm, that is a problem. So let me check with the thumbs up. The thumbs up one, it's the same deal. So be warned, if you get this figure, it might just be mine as well. There doesn't appear to be any damage to the joint in there, but you might have a similar problem where it's very easy and does not really grasp on to the hands that you switch in and out. Alright, so let me take off the rest of your arm. And what's nice about this is that really you do see that there's a little seam there, that's where the joint is connected, that you take the arm off, but it doesn't detract from the figure. And it's actually pretty tight in there. I'm impressed. Give me your arm. Thank you. And replacing it with your dual disc arm, because I know you love your dual disc so much. Perfect, clean fit. Almost no seam at all, and it goes very well, almost like it's a wrinkle. And what hand? You know what? Let's just go with a thumbs up one, because I like that about you. So really now he has more of the action pose that we have been wanting, or a lot of people have been saying that they wanted more of from Jounouchi. I think that this is perfect for him, is that his dual disc is now the center of the attention with his action pose. So it's a beautiful, beautiful figure altogether, and even though it might be simple, is that that's really all that we kind of need for him. And it's a really just perfect figure as it is currently right now. So I just figured this out, is that if I have the thumbs up, is that I can't put his cards in his hand. So that's sad. I kind of wish that the cards would have been down in the fist holding hand, but we're not going to complain. Now let's see, can you hold your cards well? Yeah, you can hold your cards well. There you go. So the cards stick fairly well. It's not going to escape anytime soon. I'm more worried about the hand coming out. So apart from the hand, and that is a pretty big disappointment for me, I mean, it's an easy fix. You can easily just put a little bit of putty at the end of it to make the figure hold on to it. But other than that, it's a beautiful figure all around. And once again, I always have to wonder where I'm going to keep their spare part. Dang it. Hold on to your arm. There we go. Ugh, kind of looks like something from a horror movie. So let's talk prices and places where you can pick up your very own Joey to give you your own thumbs up every single day you walk out the door. Now, he's not rare. I'm sorry, I don't like to say that about you. I love you, I really do. But this is good because it's easier for us to find him, and he is also the cheapest out of the Kotobukiya line. Even when they are done with stock, is that he's pretty easy and affordable to find. Luckily, he is in stock. They are doing his second and third waves. Originally, once again, he is a pretty old figure. The first printing of him went out around April of 2013. So 4 years ago. Wow, happy 4th birthday in statue form. Hobby Search at the moment, you can get him. He is in stock, tons and tons of him. He is there for 6,460 yen, so approximately $60. That's a fair price with the paint job that you're getting, with the fact that it has the Kotobukiya label on it, and it is a very nice figure. Just the gloss upon it, as well as the shoe details. Sorry, I'm loving the shoes. But it's a beautiful figure, and it's really worth that price. And when you think about it, especially with the Kotobukiya name on it, that's a really good price for a figure. So far that is the best place to get him and to make sure that it is an authentic figure. Next stop would be Ami. They are usually a couple dollars more, and they have him up for 6,500 yen. Once again, just like a couple little cents difference, but that could be really the deciding factor of if you want him or if you don't want him. Come on, guys. I mean, first off, thank you to you guys for voting for him, because I'm so happy that he does have a loyal fan base out there. Say thank you to your fans, Joey. Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I always just want to look on Amazon just to see what the price is for figures like this. And it's not going to ship through Amazon, so already you kind of have to have a little bit of a red flag. I mean, you can maybe say that, yes, it's going to be authentic, but it's $73.65 right now. A little bit higher than what it's originally worth, and with the fact that it's not coming from Amazon, you might not be getting free shipping, so just go to Hobby Search. Make my life easier, and yours. So I'm reminding you again, you guys need to vote for the next unboxing from this lineup. We are now down to Seto Kaiba, Malik, the nice one. May I just say that he has a nice chest? I'm surprised none of you voted to have him. And Yami Marik. So the Dark Magician girl will come out in April, but obviously we can't vote for her at the moment. We will just do an unboxing of her when she comes out further down the road. But at the moment, you guys have 3 choices. So vote. Vote. Come on. You know you want to. Once again, you have until Monday, March 27th at 11:59 p.m. to vote. And I'm quite curious to see which one you guys will all vote on. And that is all for this week's unboxing. Jounouchi thanks his fans. Sorry, I'll take that arm away. Jounouchi thanks you guys for voting for him. He is very happy. See the little smirk on his face? If you guys like this unboxing, if you like all the weird shenanigans that I do, then go to the bottom. You see that little thumbs up symbol? Same as what he's showing on his hand? His amputated hand? Yes. Go down there, punch it in the face. Even better, subscribe to me. I will love you all forever. Tons more unboxings, obviously, on the way. Stay tuned for another unboxing next week, but in the meantime, Yami Sorceress is out.